I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This One's Wife, another failed Sussex venture. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. A report comes from something called the Royal Observer, where the report by Charles Switzer tells us another failed Sussex venture. Reports of Archwell's going into the red is getting under this one's wife and Prince Harry's skin. Naturally, such reportage would annoy a narcissist because it amounts to a criticism of an organisation that the narcissist is attached to, resulting in the suggestion that she is not very good at what she does. Archwell, remember, is an extension of this one's wife. She utilises it to make herself look good, to make herself look caring, to assert control over people, draw fuel from their responses, and to manage her facade. Accordingly, where Archwell is described as failing, where Archwell is described as a vehicle which simply pays her expenses, where Archwell is described as some kind of tax dodge, all of that amounts to challenge fuel, because Archwell is an extension of her, and in effect, it is as if the criticisms are being directed against her in particular. Therefore, the suggestion that Archwell has gone into the red and isn't doing very well impacts upon her and threatens her sense of control. The report explains this one's wife and Prince Harry are upset about news reports claiming their foundation, Archwell, is going into the red. Someone from Archwell told TMZ that Harry and this one's wife and Archwell have big-time money stashed away. And this recent report suggesting that they were in the red or strapped for cash was misleading because it doesn't take into account that they are not a corporation, royal expert Kinsey Schofield told an outlet. So obviously, this particular headline is really getting under the Duke and Duchess's skin here in the States. And do we know anything about these donors? So $1 million each, I believe, in the last year. Who are they? What's going on? We don't know, but I bet they look a lot like Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey. But we have no clue who it is. You know, I think another wild aspect of the story is that Harry and this one's wife only work 1 day a week. Can you imagine? What a nice life, she added. Well, we've touched on that before, whereby the Ginger Prince is not one who is particularly prone to industriousness, and this one's wife is inherently lazy, such as her narcissism also. Schofield continued, "We don't know where their money goes when Harry and this one's wife typically work with Archwell, and I'll give Invictus the credit it deserves. Invictus is great. However, that was an organisation started under the royal family's tree, with teamwork from the palace itself. That was not just a Harry solo initiative. But when it comes to Archwell, they tend to just attach themselves to other charities, something I've pointed out elsewhere, this piggybacking that goes on, which in effect is a form of character trait acquisition by this one's wife. So they piggyback these other charities that you know are going and kicking butt, and they say, hey, we're Harry and this one's wife, can you stamp us onto something that already exists? Lazy, entitled character trait acquisition. This comes after Schofield's earlier remarks on the programme Breakfast with Eamon and Isabel. They think that this story is garbage. They say they are not in the red because they're not a corporation. And this is just the United Kingdom media making a big deal out of nothing. But interesting to me that a source close to Archwell can talk to TMZ about Archwell in the red. I'm sorry to do this, sorry to bring it up again, but no word on Bell End Game. Isn't it the first time we've heard from them at all? They haven't done anything to say we had nothing to do with Bell End Game, but they did come out and defend their charity, host Isabel Webster responded. Shortly after its release, on November the 28th, the Dutch version of Omid Scobie's book contained a translation error that named King Charles III and Kate, Princess of Wales, as two senior royals who allegedly questioned Prince Archie's skin colour. This one's wife famously told Oprah Winfrey in 2021 that only one senior royal asked her about the baby's potential complexion. Thus, it is the suggestion that they have come out and defended through a spokesperson, Archwell, but have said nothing in relation to Bella Endgame. You can draw the appropriate conclusions from that. The fact is, the criticism of Archwell does get to this one's wife. In essence, as has been pointed out elsewhere, Archwell has really only ever received 4 donations. 2 substantial donations in the course of 2021, and then the 2 $1 million donations. It isn't as if the public at large are motivated to want to donate to it. And the reason for that is twofold. Most people do not like Prince Harry and this one's wife, and therefore, of those individuals that are inclined to give to charity, they're not going to give to the gruesome twosomes outfit. Secondly, the people that do like them are the sugars. Their numbers are dwindling because they're not getting paid as much as they once did or being paid as they once were. And those individuals come from a lower socio-economic group that are not really in position to make such donations. Indeed, I would suspect that many of them would be more likely to utilise the charities themselves rather than actually support those charities. Thus, this one's wife is reliant upon celebrity donors, and they don't have that many celebrity friends. This is because the A-listers have wanted to distance themselves from the gruesome twosome because they recognise them as being toxic, and you don't want your hard-worked-for brand being stained by association with these two. Accordingly, the opportunities for donations have diminished considerably. The public aren't interested, and therefore they rely upon the celebrities to help them out. And that supports the suggestion by Kinsey Schofield that it might well be Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey who had donated those monies. Nevertheless, this still leaves Archwell facing criticism and is another aspect of something that this one's wife has been engaged in that has failed. It repeatedly is called out for not being effective, for piggybacking the hard work of other individuals, for the fact that they only put an hour a week to it, that its various donations are scrutinised and criticised, for example, the donation that was given to Georgetown. The fact that it is registered in Delaware causes many people to believe that what you're actually looking at is a device that's being used as some kind of tax-effective dodge and or for the channeling through of various expenses that this one's wife uses. Once again, because she's not liked, she faces this huge level of cynicism and scepticism from the public at large. Another criticism, more challenge fuel, and more problems for this one's wife. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.